Hello, fellow human beings and non-human beings. Sorry, I just got some technical issues. I got to restart, so I think I'm just gonna start over. So today I'm gonna be talking. This music is a bit too loud. Just for some atmosphere. Hopefully it's not too loud. So yeah, today I'm going to be talking about a movie called Jupiter Ascending, created by Watchavski brothers, which ironically they are sisters in real life, but for some unknown reason they call themselves brothers. So they were original creators of Matrix trilogy. I will leave the Matrix out. Maybe not. I'll see how it is, because there was what inspired for me to look so deeply in the movies is basically a guy called Mark Passio and his presentation about Matrix trilogy. He made like 2-hour video about sort of deconstructing them free, and after I watched that, I was like, wow, that's what I want to do. And it took me quite a few years to actually be right here where I am. So yeah, it's really nice that I at last actually started doing what I wanted to do for a long time. Okay, so let's jump into it. So what do we have in the logo itself? The movie, the name of it, Jupiter, basically is made out of 2 words, which is Jew and Peter. Jordan Maxwell talked about it, so it's best to go listen to his lectures about it. But I think it's from Hindu language or whatever, and it's just basically meaning same words as I think it's Zeus, and just switching them around is basically a god's name. I don't know. What is this? Where are we going? What are the pictures? Right. So basically, the movie starts with a ship traveling. That's where the main character, the Jupiter, her name was named after Jupiter. I'll just read my notes. I think it's gonna be a bit easier. Where are we? Oh dear. I still need to learn to do this for first time, so okay. Right, so the first slide, this one we're looking at, basically starts in a space view, and the starting quote was, "Technically speaking, I'm an alien, and from perspective of immigration and the legal fiction, well, technically speaking, I'm an alien." That's what the Jupiter said. From sort of at the scene, she was born on the ship from her mother. Basically, her mother's water broke, and she was born, and the whole birth is on the ship, as you can see. So that's quite ironical. Why? This would be edited in another program. What? Okay, so it's not edited. Ah, damn it. Okay. So what do I need to go? Each one of them. Oh dear. I wasn't ready for this. I'm sorry. Okay. Alright, so we can see the next slide, so we can go next. So I need just to switch them around. Well, anyway, next time I'll be more ready. I'll just not waste more time. So basically, yeah, she's giving a birth to her daughter, and she called her Jupiter. And yeah, basically a metaphor of her giving of her being born on the ship is that basically it's like telling you the story about how the birth certificates are actually in place, because throughout the whole movie you'll see that they're talking about a lot of everything about contracts and whatever, you'll see. So I think that's how it sort of starts with the birth, and yeah, it's sort of like a metaphor. And then Jupiter herself quotes, "I was born without a country, without a home, without a father, but I was born in a house of Leo. So straight away they point out the significance to astrology themselves, and Leo represents, I think, if I'm not mistaken, January. So it's basically the beginning of a new year, and which represents the new beginnings, the start of something. So yeah. And she specifically says, while Jupiter is rising 23 degrees ascending, this is supposed to mean by my grandmother, it's supposed to be a great things, and I will find one true love in my life. And then she says, then problem with astrology is total bullshit. And then basically there was like showing how she was cleaning toilets or something, I think. Yeah, and she has her life. And anyway, I think there was a shift of a scene to a sort of distant planet, and these people were these two characters on the right side. They were walking with each other, and they were having a chat. And then they met this guy. So, and then they basically, this man is, I think, the son of hers. Although that might not look like it. Well, anyway, yeah, she's a bit old in the scene. So, and then they talk. The man asks the woman, because when they were walking, there was nobody in this planet. And the man asks the woman, have you ever seen the harvest? Woman, no, never. But I've heard that they feel no pain. Quite humane, after all. Quite humane, after all, wiping the planet. That's quite humane, so, by their standards, I guess. And the man replies, there are marshals and administrators to make sure everything is done according to the code, but could be rather affecting. So yeah. Then basically the concept that in space, which I don't think it exists, but anyway, there's a lot of planets, blah blah, and everyone is divided in houses, like in families, like in mafia, mob. Basically, that's what it is. Basically, that's how how a world is run. So, and then this man appears, and I think he's from different house, but they're somehow related. I don't know. This is a bit of complicated. Basically, there are. Yeah, but this is the main villain on the left, which is very strange actor to me. I don't know, after I've seen him in a role where he acted as a genuine woman, he's just like not funny. Anyway, so his name is Balem. I don't know, how do you say it? How do you spell it? Oh, let's have a look quickly. Is it? Balem, just one. It's B-A-L-E-M. Okay, but anyway, I think it's still reference to Baal, ancient Sumerian god. They love it. I used to play a bit of a Diablo 2. There's a game, and pretty much the last and the most villain and the most strongest boss is called Baal again. So yeah, there's lots of references to that. So anyway, and then the man, the son on the right, says to the woman, to her mom, my mother came across... Oh, no, sorry, that's maybe her sister. That's what she is. Yeah, their mother died. That's the thing, yeah. And then the man said to the woman, my mother came across a planet very rare and a most beautiful estate she ever owned. I believe it's called Earth. So yeah, basically you can inherit planets according to the logic, as a real estate, just business, nothing special, just usual day, another dollar. And what happens in the scene, that basically he said, oh, maybe could I have that planet? And the main villain guy sort of laughed a bit, because and he got confused, like, what are you laughing, without saying. And then his sister said, what, you don't know that planet is worth more than the whole of your estates put all together? And then the main villain left. Okay, so the memory is still quite fresh. Yeah, I think it's just before Jupiter, and there was a shift of a scene. So before Jupiter, you know, woke up, so you see this globe propaganda again. Then you can see the triangle. I think Pink Floyd has the same. I think one of them, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not very much into that. Just to guess, that's where I think I've seen it. I think on one of the logos. But yeah, again, triangle. You see the galaxy. But yeah, there's basically. Let's have a look at the notes. So this is fine. Oh, we didn't. I think there was a clock. Why is it gone? Some of the pictures might not be as good as I thought. Anyway. Can we see it? No, we can't. Basically, the time she woke up was 4:45, pretty much each morning. Is it, you know, if you add all of those numbers together, you get 13. I don't know, is there any significance or that? I don't know, you know, if you have any ideas or whatever, just, yeah, leave it in the comments. So, yeah. So another shifting to a scene, that's the same woman in the, who was with the main villain, the three people. So this dude on the left is like an advisor to her, and his name is Maledictus. The only thing which rings me a bell with Maledictus is one of the short. I'll just leave it. It's just too complicated to remember. Okay, so yeah, he's an advisor for Royal Queen of Brassex. So I assume that was this lady's mother, maybe, or her. But anyway, so they got into conversation, and his response had. Yeah, she has his opinion about something, and then about trust. Yeah, and his response, I loved it. Says, "Trust is an illusion, my lady. I believe in only self-mutual interest." You know, amplifying the ego. Oh yeah, they were talking about basically harvesting the humans, and that's the whole pretty much point of the movie, that these aliens, whatever, these superiors, are harvesting us and basically making us into these water tubes which you take a bath in, and you basically refresh and get young again. So, and we're best material for manufacture from that. So again, reference to water. Okay, yeah, and then basically he said, like, yeah, you know, if they want more time, you know, we can offer them time. And she said, okay, let's make it a deal. I think that they were sort of slowly starting the harvest of the earth. Okay, moving on. So yeah, that's, you know, how wormhole looks like. And the ship, to me, looks like sort of like, I don't know, like an Egyptian thing, and, you know, flying through the ring. You know, like, again, Saturn rings. We'll see, I think, a few references to Saturn. What's going on with 10? 10, where are you? Okay, so... I'm sorry. But I'm not editing. Dear. So, why do I need to do it again? Well, it's not being edited. Here we are. So basically, yeah, that's the main villain sort of was approaching his home planet or whatever, and that's the purifying water which replenish you. Okay, moving on to 11. So basically, there's what happened. They found out about the birth of Jupiter, and, you know, everything goes by blood. So she became an heir to inheriting the earth, because I think she was like her genetic code had to do something with the bloodline, and basically she's supposed to be the first owner of the earth, and the bad guy didn't wanted that, so he obviously conspired and hired some dogs to go and fetch her, kill her, make sure it's her, and that he could inherit what's supposed to be his. So yeah, that's basically they're checking this girl out. You'll see these like a gray-ish aliens, like most of the conspiracy people sort of, if they exist, there's quite a few theories about them. I don't know if they're real. Some say that they're creations of reptilians, just be as drones to do the job. Other theory is that basically they are bio robots created by government to make a deception about aliens. So I could name quite a few of those, but anyway, yeah. You quite often see that they go and abduct people, blah blah blah. It's either the falsified idea which was put in our minds, or maybe there's some truth to that. It's hard to say unless you had some kind of first-hand encounter yourself. So, and then so that was not Jupiter in there. Jupiter was in the closet, and she was observing what's happening, and she wasn't sure, so she made a photo, and these creatures saw her and attacked her, and basically with this blue light wiped her memory. So bam, and again the slide's gone. I don't know why they keep going away. So we are on 15. Can't even let me open in something else. Why is it? Okay, but I need to open them here now. I just need to shift through them. So yeah, and after the blue light, the memory was wiped, and they were like felt a bit off, but couldn't remember anything, and yeah, they just sort of moved on. Then basically Volo, yeah, that O and that thing in the middle really looks like man's genitalia. I don't know. So basically what happened, one of the Jupiter's family members persuaded her to sell her eggs. Not even actually sure how that works, but yeah, basically I know that people pay money for that. So and she wanted to buy a telescope for $3,000. So yeah, and she agreed. And then as you see, she's floating in the air, so the creatures which look like humans abducted her, and with that whatever machine checked the DNA, I guess, to make sure it's the right one they've got. And you see the eyes of them, black, like soulless creatures. So we're yeah, so I need to look at my notes more. Anyway, I'll learn the more I do it. So back to the clinic for a second. The guy told Jupiter, who basically recruited her for this company, whatever, to get money, and yeah, he says the money could be possibly life-changing. To her, like, it could be life-changing. And Jupiter, what do you have to keep $10,000 and I do keep 5? And the guy, it's capitalism, babe. The shit rolls down and the profit goes up. Yeah, sort of showing to himself. So, I mean, that's basically, she could say to him, screw you, and I'll do it on my own. So I don't know. It's just putting these quotes. It's, for me, it's quite different experience watching movies these days. Anyway, moving on. So we are yeah. So they said, the lady was saying, get a sample, make sure this is the right one. And she's like, oh no, you sure this is like safe or whatever? The Jupiter said something like that. And then Doctor, as he was pulling that, as he said these words, I just had to capture the screen, and he said, trust me, honey, I could do this with my eyes closed. And as soon as he said the close, they showed this scene. So yeah, then what happened? And this character was introduced. I just skipped the scene because there was this guy was yeah, that's a wolf guy. No, I just refer him to a wolf. So he was recruited by one of the family members to get her to the ship. Yeah, basically because they will try to marry her or whatever. Just yeah. So what he did, he saved her. You know, there was action scene, a lot of beef, puff, pow, pow. I just didn't want to, you know, there was nothing interesting, yeah. And then she sort of blacked out, and there was, yeah, it's 19. So yeah, so he saves her, and then so basically, like, who are you? You know, with a gun pointing at him because he gave her the gun, and you know it didn't work. And he said, to work, you need to press something, and then start work. And then he was sort of, okay, just relax. Sort of gave her the power, and that actually what she has in her hands, that what she has in her hands. It depends his life on it, basically. Anyway, so that's why he started being careful, and then that's what she felt like. Okay, this guy's serious. I mean, that these small interactions, I think they're missed, but I think they're quite interesting. So, and then it's like, who are you? Blah blah blah. And then she said, well, you've been like abducted or something. Like, what do you mean abducted? And then he's like, oh shit. When I was in Legion, they did not give me protocols for this. Okay. It can be difficult for people from underdeveloped world to understand that they're not only inhabited world in the universe. And then she seems shocked. And are you saying you're an alien? Again, an alien they do not define, because in the beginning of the movie she said herself that I'm an alien, you know. So, and then again, oh, so you're a different kind of an alien, you know. So yeah, so there's like two types of aliens, you know. Again, referring to legal fiction, and you know, to aliens, extraterrestrials, whatever. And yeah, the wolf guy says, genome engineered human. They cut my DNA with DNA something like a wolf, which is like a lichen, whatever, hard to say. Bred for the military. That did not work for me. And she's like, and who are those things in the hospital? The wolf says, keepers, genetically repurposed to act as monitors and watch. And then Jupiter's like, are those flying shoes? And the wolf guy's like, gravitational, and he starts like bombarding with the scientific, you know, explanations, whatever. And then Jupiter's like looking, yeah, I've heard of gravity and stuff. So then the wolf guy laughs. So, you know, that's basically, I think, in a way, it might be what's hidden in there, that behind what she did, that, yeah, what behind he did, that he laughed, it's basically they're telling you, for me, I can see they're telling you that basically all their concepts are laughable. That basically, oh, you know, I don't know, just an idea I just got now. So yeah, and then basically he found her, and they were just about to leave, and yeah, there's a barely visible ship in the sky, and then you see these lights, and these lights as well are mentioned a lot in moon, they call it moon elevators, I think. There was some pictures made, and there's basically, you can see like lines going pretty much 4 miles or even higher. I know, I think they're called like yeah, they have something to do with it. I heard it somewhere a long time ago when I was doing this. Just remember that. So 20, again, there was another, oh yeah, before they got to the ship, they were intercepted. There was another piff paff pow pow scene. And during that scene, I'm not sure, I don't know what that means, but I can see that 3 keys. I know what 2 keys would represent. 2 crossed keys represents basically the Pope's reign over this kingdom, because you know God's not here, Jesus is not here, so basically he has the keys for this kingdom, so he's in control. But what the third one means, or the themselves free in there, I don't, on UBS what it is, does it stand for, I didn't look into it, but that's a fair point for myself, that to do it a bit more in depth maybe. But it's maybe it's a long shot, maybe I'll just stick to events in the movie. So yeah, basically half of the city got destroyed, obviously they got away, and you know, and you see the dawn of a new day and everything is in chaos and ruins, and I think that's sort of a symbolism which is gonna follow in a second. That's basically yeah, so you can see that these buildings are ruined, and these are, they are fumes, but they're nearly reconstructed. And now the Jupiter with the wolf guy had the following conversation. So the Jupiter asked the wolf, "What's going on?" The wolf, "We stumbled on a family of war, Brassex, one of the most powerful dynasties in the universe." Jupiter, "What about yesterday? The buildings?" "Everything will be rebuilt by tonight. Take a look." And you know, she glances back. She sees that there was like a short scene, but you know, I didn't want it to capture scene by scene, but there was like the building was rebuilding itself, basically everything was destroyed coming back to itself. So where are we? Yeah, so and Jupiter was like, "And what about the people? You have a picture on your phone of keepers which you don't remember taking. Short-term stuff is easy." But they can't. Yeah. So the wolf guy continues. "They can't get to everybody, but that's who's left. No one would believe the ones who slip." So it's basically, you know, like we, the net people, you know, the conspiracy researchers and you know, flat earthers, whatever. You know, the whole bunch of us. Well, we're growing. So the notes I wrote down that basically that family of Brassex had 3 heirs to the throne, and I think she was the first one or something when they found out about her. Yeah, so there was a scene back in the hospital, I didn't capture it, but where that Balem, the main villain guy, went back to the hospital and sort of holographically stopped it and looked what happened, and he was talking to the Jupiter while she was, you know, laying there as hologram, and he was saying to her, "There are moments that I actually miss you," referring that she's basically reincarnation of her mother, his mother. And he carries on, "No one understands universe like you do. No one." And in the way he said, it's like real, like complete psycho. So carry on. 24. So on this wolf's guys, I don't know, to me it looks like Kabbalah. Just the form of itself, a tree of life or whatever, but it's just I don't know, maybe it's just me, but to me there's something about it anyway. Okay, so yeah, back to this house, to the wolf to meet his old friend, and the old friend is some sort of ex-military guy as he was, but they were expelled, lost their wings. So yeah, there was a reference about them losing their wings, so they maybe the fallen angels. And yeah, basically. Okay, so yeah, in the bee house, there was a scene when she's basically, yeah, the wolf guy was hurt, and but I think half of my pictures are lost because I think I captured it. Anyway, so there was a scene where he had the spray, he sprinkled it on the wound of the wolf, and the wound disappeared. But I think I captured, but I think it's lost. I just need to check the content. Maybe, sorry. So anyway, I'm gonna carry on. So yeah, the spray itself was golden, So maybe that's a reference to like monatomic gold or whatever. There's something about gold, and you know I heard that there are even dishes in very fancy restaurants, like you can pay $2,000 or whatever for a plate of food which had sprinkles of gold on it, and the people, the rich people eat that. So I think there's a reason behind it, and yeah, so just the color of itself, I think that might be like a small reference. And then Jupiter was really, after what she saw, that the wound healing while she was witnessing, and she's like, wow, what is that? And the wolf guy's friend says, Your Majesty is not aware of scientific miracles that human beings are capable of. And Jupiter then says back, why those human beings won't share things like this? And then the wolf guy friend says, well, that's basically the conversation. Yeah, the wolf guy's friend says, sharing has never been the strong suit for your species. And then there was some scenes or whatever, and then they came out to the garden, and then Bee started acting strange, sort of gathering around her, and then she's like, and they were, I think, did they kneel? I'm not sure they have a kneel, but they were like really surprised. And then the conversation, the wolf guy's friend said the bees are genetically modified to recognize royalty. Okay, so basically, I don't know what to say about this. If any one of you have any ideas about the bees and the connection to royalty, or you just completely made up, I would like to know. Thank you. Okay, and then Jupiter refers, what am a royalty? You would be surprised to what I do. And she refers basically that she's a cleaner, cleaning the toilet. And and the wolf guy's friend says, is not what you do. Oh no, wait. It's not what you do, it's what you are. It's not what you do, it's what you do. Nah, I would say it's what you are doing making me. Anyway, let's not argue about that. Okay, and then oh yeah, here we are. So I thought I captured. So you can see as it being sprinkled, it has some sort of a yellow color to it. And then basically Jupiter just says to the friend, I'll just refer him to the friend, I'll refer this to the wolf for now, its main character. So basically the Jupiter asks the friend, do you know what this will do to the people when they find out the truth? With excitement, you know, she was really excited. And the friend says, I don't think that most of the people would want to know the truth. You know, like it says everywhere, you know, you can't handle the truth. And yeah, and these words, the truth, at the end of the word was said exactly on 44 minutes and 44 seconds. Not sure what geometry, by gematria, what it means or whatever, but I just think that's quite interesting that it was said exactly on those numbers. And Jupiter responds to, you know, I do want to know the truth. And then the friend, okay, so the friend starts telling the story of the origins in this movie, of how we were created. That was sort of my idea, to capture quite a few movies and just look at, you know, deconstruct them as I'm doing it now, but sort of the movies where they were involved, the origin story of the whole creation of us or whatever. So anyway, let's just carry on. So you've been taught that the human birthplace was Earth, but it's not. Actually, it's planet in conabulance system called Horus. But the way he said Horus, it sounded like Horus, you know. It's like our birthplace was out of the sun, you know, that we're light beings. That's how I interpret it. Just an interpretation. Let's just carry on what actually is being said. So your planet was discovered to what it's commonly called the Great Expansion. I guess that's the Big Bang, or maybe when they started exploring the space. At the time, Earth was inhabited by a branch species, Saurosapien, dangerous human predator called Sargon. Not sure what that means. Like I said, if these words mean to you anything from standpoint of mythology or something interesting, just leave it in the comments or something like that. So, large stage extinction event was manufactured, and oh yeah, large stage extinction event was manufactured, and then he was fixing something like a tablet in his hands or whatever, or Jupiter was holding one, and the tablet explodes as soon as he said the word, that phrase. So that basically was it, sorry, just again, I need to get used to the live streaming. I'm being watched. Well, we're all being watched all the time, aren't we? So then the Jupiter says, are you talking about dinosaurs? And the friend is, Are you saying that your people did this? And the friend responds, well, technically they are your people, your majesty. And then the friend carries on. According to the Commonwealth records, royalty stuff, I guess, this planet was seeded. So this planet was seeded, that's a direct quote. And in my notes I sort of written down, because there's a really common scientific theory about panspermia, that basically there's these asteroids carrying life on whatever, but again, that word itself, pan and sperm, Pan, Greek god of fertility and perversion, and sperm, I think it's just a wordplay and just another bunch of nonsense. Let's read this without my notes. According to the Commonwealth records, this planet was seeded by Brassex Industries 100,000 years ago. Human DNA spliced with indigenous species to evolve fertile population. Basically, the goal is to grow population as big as possible until population exceeds the planet's resources to sustain them. It is considered right for harvest. Okay, so basically, yeah, they say that we are manufactured by private company, and they have rights over us, which again, I think that's sort of like the seeded as well might be that the idea of birth certificates and whatever was seeded quite a while ago. And yeah, we're all employees of certain corporations, whether it's France, USA, whatever. They're all separate countries, are private corporations, and I think they have like joined something, everything, even let's just carry on with the movie. It's just too much to be said in one presentation. Okay, and then as soon as the guy tells Jupiter that it is considered right for harvest, then the trouble comes, because they located the location of them, these aliens, and they wanted to kidnap back her again. But this purely screen I captured because I really find it sarcastic, because they say that aliens making these crop circles. So here you go, they show you, yeah, that's aliens making crop circle. Right, I can't take that. Right, just 1 second, I wasn't planned. Саня, Дима, здорово, ребят, здорово, что послал, доставай. So yeah, and then again they actually succeeded to kidnap her, and again you see the aliens running around, and yeah they lay the crop circles they're showing you, so I don't believe that. I think it's just a funny metaphor there. Yep, and then they're showing you basically the technology that the humans are pretty much, that's how they harvest us. Okay, right, and then yeah, that's that's basically a planet of royalty. It's called Alcazar, and well, it has quite a few moons, but to me it looked like pretty much Saturnian, completely controlled Earth, because we can see this globe, but it's actually affected, and you see this ring and always rings, Lord of the Rings is, Saturn, so it's just that their home is Saturn, those royalties and those, industrial people. And then, well, we have 32. Yeah, there was few scenes missing, but anyway, so so the main villain, the Balam, traveled back home to this planet or whatever, and he was already there, and he was talking about with that bratty servant Maledictus. I had the screens, but they are missing somewhere. So they were talking about Balam saying to asking the ratty person early projections for the harvest. What kind of grade are we getting from the skin? Referring back to us, to the humans that we need to be harvested, how good our skin is, So, and the ratty servant says, excellent product, sir. Human grade is particularly robust stock. Assuming market stability, harvesting later this year, profit margin should eclipse your nearest competitor. Okay, so they're using astrological terms in the language. So, and then everything is again, about business, about economy, stock markets, and yes. So, and then his response to the little guy saying was like, understand this, Mr. Knight. That's apparently another one. Sorry, yeah, there was another one. Maledictus was another guy, sorry. So there was another ratty person. His name was Mr. Knight, yeah. It's not really important, but again. And Balam responds, the main villain responds to this, his advisor. Understand this, Mr. Knight. I will harvest the planet tomorrow before I let her take it from me. So, and the way he said it with that destructive tone, with that energy, to me it sort of corresponded to male materialistic aspect taking sort of over, that he would do whatever it takes but not let the female energy into this world. And that's how I perceive it, that at this moment everything is matter, physical, logic, all men are in control, it's always men killing pretty much everyone else, I don't see too much women conflicting. Anyway, so that's my interpretation. So yeah, and then Jupiter was talking to this lady. She was from the beginning. She was the sister, one of the main family characters. Okay, so the chat with her. So this lady telling Jupiter, your planet just entering its genetic age, you understand very little about, which is a vital part of our reality. In our world, genes have spiritual significance. They are the seeds of our immortality. When the exact same genes reappear in the exact same water, points to the Jupiter's body, that basically referring again to reincarnation. This is for us our calling reincarnation. Sorry, that's what's being said. And the Jupiter responds, but how can it be the reincarnation of your mother unless your mother was from Earth? And lady responds, your mother was born before the first cities were built. And she looked at her, so are you some kind of a vampire race? It's very interesting that they mention this stuff. And this lady laughs gracefully, and we are the cause of a lot of those myths. But I promise, my mother was just as human as you or I. And I emphasize this last sentence. The difference between us is knowledge and technology. Okay, so basically, you know, they're no superior, but they just know more and they have better stuff. That's it. And then she says that the queen before, the mother, the reincarnation, who is Jupiter, she was 14,004 years old. So basically they're referring that they can live a lot of time. Maybe like these ancient rulers like Akhenaten and stuff, maybe they're still reincarnating that way. Maybe they still alive, who knows, because it's really funny when you look at Akhenaten's photo and Barack Obama's and just put them next to each other. It makes you wonder. And then Jupiter asks, if your lives are so long, how your mother actually died? And the lady responds, she was murdered. Come, let me introduce you with the possibilities of your new life, with a tempting look when she said that. So yes, she's basically showing that's her mother before, and they look really similar with Mila Kunis, the actress. Well, they made it look like. And I captured this photo because in the background, again, you see the Statue of Liberty, the Isis, you know, the solar symbology. Just, you know, it's sort of everywhere. Some of them I missed, some of them I don't. And then yeah, we know that royalty is walking on red carpet, which represents the royal bloodline, and they are walking on the blue carpet, which I think represents that basically the whole industry and everything, and then their lives are run by water, because water to them is time, literally. So maybe that's the whole secret behind the water, which we don't know, that something by doing with water we can regenerate ourselves, not that we need to, you know, extract it from human beings, which you know, the idea could be there. Now there's a lot of people missing each year, and now they're gone. And then again, on this blue carpet we can see a bit of a, you know, Masonic checkerboard. You know, they just had to put it in there. And then there's no scene, but basically before you can see that she's a bit wrinklish and she has some gray hair, and then after she comes out of the water, she's like all refreshed. And then yeah, she's look younger. And then again, conversation between her and Jupiter. Each of us have optimal code for physical condition. The problem is our genes have expiration date, which is transferred to our cells. Long time ago, we figured it out how to change deteriorating cells with new ones. Today, it's easy as changing a light bulb. And to me, it was a bit funny to advanced races even use light bulbs. Why would you use that reference? But anyway. And she's saying, your Earth is a very small part of a large industry. Your species fight over resources, oil, minerals, land. But when you have access, vastness of space, you realize that the only true resource worth fighting over, even killing for, is more time. And I think that with that tempting look, she said that, you know, even killing for is more time. So more time, I think it's a reference to symbolism and how these elites, they are afraid of dying, because I think they're just too afraid to face the consequences, what the mess they made out of their lives. So they just basically, yeah, that's my thought. And then she carries on. Time is most precious single commodity in the entire universe. And then the conversation carries on. How can one person own the Earth? Jupiter asks the queen. Well, no, it's not the queen. I think the queen's dead, but I just marked her as a queen for easier myself. So Oh, I missed. Sorry. Yeah, missed it. We need to get back a bit. Sorry. So when this lady said it's easy to change the gene codes, as easy change them as light bulbs, and then Jupiter asks, where do you get these light bulbs? And the lady says, we grow them. And she says, clones? No, clones lack genetic plasticity. Several million years ago, gene plague caused by cloning nearly annihilated human race. And when she said that, she was cheerfully having like a drink, cheerfully, yeah, with a smile on her face. So they enjoy the killing. It's fun. And then then she says that your Earth is very part of a huge large industry, and then she goes with a scene of killing and for time and blah blah blah. Then Jupiter asks her, how can one person own the Earth? And then the lady says, it's just a planet, Jupiter. In this world, people own things far more valuable than you can know what the far more valuable, yeah, and that's the end. So basically referring to the Earth and to the people basically as stuff. Again, there's a materialistic thing, as business, there's no respect to life or free will, whatever. It's just completely black psychopathic psychology of them, how they just in every single movie, well, not every single movie, but pretty much where you see the elite, these rulers, they're just completely black. That's all I can say about that. And then she carries on after saying that you can have better stuff than your you cannot know what the life would be like when you're offered the world beyond your imagination. Beyond your imagination, when you can choose to remain young and beautiful, and when you have power to change the lives of your family for the better, all you have to do is close your eyes. Okay? So what she's saying, that you have the power to change the lives of your family. That's it. That's where the ego extends the most. If you have the family, you will protect them because it's family. But someone which is not your family and maybe not in your friends list, that's it. It's potential enemy. Like in Matrix, it's another agent. People don't realize that we're in this together. We're all one big family, but they're trying to divide and conquer. They just do not even think in that way. Just think about yourself. So yeah, that's the agenda they're pushing. And what she's referring to, close your eyes, basically just ignore, just get on with the harvest, enjoy your life, live forever. So yeah, just look for yourself, after yourself, and then bam, we have reptilian reference. Okay, so the main villain, after the failure of the Grace, trying to get her first because she was saved by the wolf guy again or something like that. Basically, she's in that safe-ish hands because this guy wants just to pretty much to kill her straight away, but that did not work out for him. But why in this picture, just looking on his left hand shoulder, you can see the sort of the spiral, like a DNA helix. I think it's called like that. Yeah. So I just found it funny that in this sort of frame it is showing like a reptilian and well, maybe it's my imagination playing, but you can sort of see the helix. Might mean nothing, but there's a lot of things they put in there which are called 25th frame or whatever. We miss because we're on the flow. But when you actually watch it frame by frame, you can maybe capture more of stuff like this. So and then obviously because this guy is her idol, the savior on the white horse, she's sort of in love with him and she wants to kiss him after they had some sort of a conversation, and the wolf guy responds, I'm a splice and you're royalty now. You do not know what that means. I have more in common with a dog than with you. So basically that they look pretty much the same, that their physiology is pretty much the same. It's all about the blood, all about these levels, you know. I think it's very popular in India, these castes, you know, they have priest caste or whatever, and you cannot, if you know, if you're born poor, there's pretty much low chance that you know you graduate uni or whatever. So it's again referring to this again, you know, hierarchical pyramidal structure of the whole thinking, how it is. Yeah, so he's like, oh no, even if I love you or whatever, it's no good. And then yeah, he walks away. And then they travel to the Jupiter, travel to the planet. It's called Hall of Titles. The home. Oh, that's the home planet of royalty. Sorry, that was just the home planet of those Brassex people with the Saturnium symbolism. Just yeah. Next time I will just quickly read through the content, but it's just sometimes I remember more and talk more, sort of, than I anticipated. But anyway, yeah. So this planet really looks like a theoretical particle atom. I don't know, just again this, but actually the thing is, when I had, it was really bad quality. I had a telescope. It was a refractor, the one where you have a mirror, and the one which refracts light in the lens and then I guess magnifies it, and you can basically see. So that's pretty much what I saw when I looked up to those lights in the sky. I know what the magnification was, 50 times or something. It's really bad, but roughly what I could see, what was coming into my eye, I see that pretty much what I saw. Like I looked at the 10 or 12 different stars, and to me those lights in the sky looked like that, but there was like a ball, but there was two things moving around it. I don't know to this day how I can explain it. Maybe I just need a better telescope or better, you know, more experience with it, but I just remembered when I watched it. So yeah, it's just another interesting symbol. And then again, this guy is named Bob. I'm automated intergalactic advocate. I will assist you with your process of ascension. So this whole ascension now just reminded me, it's just basically paperwork and huge bureaucracy stuff, and you're just gonna see. I think this part is laughable, that you cannot deny. This is about birth certificates, about the whole legal system, about law of sea and like that. So process of ascension, paperwork. So he approaches this lady, the Bob, the advocate, so because she cannot talk for herself, because you have to have advocates, you know, and that's what they're pushing always, that you have a solicitor or someone else, because you don't know shit about the law, so you cannot represent yourself. So we get one of our gang members to represent you. So we came here to claim her inheritance, the title of Brassex. Woman behind the desk. You need to file the inheritance petition, transfer of title, and some other forms, to really like in a boring voice, okay? Then Bob, okay, let's go. Then they approach this lady. 45. Okay, so you need. So they approached this lady. They said like, we need inheritance for a petition, blah, blah, blah. And they said you need. This is file quick claims. You need to go to section 19. Okay. Okay, so he went to section 19. Then this guy says to him, you need a title survey, a gene print, an identification from Wilson Trust. Okay, then the guy moved to this place where you basically have to have some sort of orientation where you're going. And the funny thing is about these lines, that these white, you know, like quit claims, Hall of Titles, wills and trust, they move all the time. It's like basically impossible to know where to go by this guide. So that's why I say that this whole system is so complex that they don't know even themselves sometimes, I guess. Okay, then he sort of found the guy he was looking for, okay? And then he says, oh, sorry, I can't touch this without a tax number from the revenue review. Okay? And then he goes to this guy who looks exactly the same. He was a bit shocked, the Bob. And then he says, well, this is revenue request, not revenue review. And then the Bob nearly loses it, okay? And then he comes to this guy, and 15. Sorry, just a second. Oh yeah, he's saying a title number is required before tax identification can be issued. So basically, again, you stack. And then he says that basically that we cannot get it or something, or they had some other issues, and this guy, not my problem, you know. And then, you know, the obvious solution, how much? Seems, I guess that's credits or whatever they needed. And here you go, you're done. Yep, and the last step, she went to get her seal on her hand to this place, basically get a tattoo. And yeah, this guy who was preparing her for that, after the tattoo was finished, he says to her, "My congratulations and my deepest condolences," and he ironically laughs. I do not know how to interpret it, but I think that's quite interesting what's being said. And now the wolf guy says to her, "That's it, you're officially entitled." And Jupiter's like, "Entitled to what? Key to the city?" It's like a joke. Yeah, so that's an imprint, and we can go back to the ship. Oh, and the tattoo was Earth, and it had these 3 spinning not circles. I think they're on the gyro, so I think it's just basically like a reference of a gyro. I think I that's what's in my notes, although I might be wrong. But I don't know, just watch the movie maybe or something and you'll see. Okay. Right, so there were some scenes, and she woke up in a ship after, yeah, there was a shifting scenes, and when she was sort of rescued and delivered to this guy's ship, they just had a conversation, but basically his plan is to marry her and then kill her. And then he was just talking to her and said, "Oh, okay, Jupiter, come with me." Okay, and then Jupiter, "What is this?" You know, the thing in his hand. And he is Lord Titus of Brassex. That's this guy's name. Yeah, okay, Lord Titus. Let's just call him Lord Titus. Next thing, in some other cases, I will look into these character names, and I will look whether either they're fictional or whether they're real. They have any reference. I mean, that would be really deep. Anyway, let's just carry on. So he says that Regenix, resell nectar. There are various levels of use depending on quality, but this is more pure and most valuable solution made by the House of Brassex. It comes from people. Each unit is refined from approximately human beings, approximately 100 human beings. Your planet is a farm, Jupiter. There are thousands of planets like yours, owned by families like mine, to supply ever-increasing demand of more time. Trying to deceive, he wants to change this business. Okay. Oh yeah, so he's trying to deceive her that he wants to change his business, that he doesn't want this harvesting thing, he doesn't want to kill people for profit anymore. He had a sudden change of heart, yeah? And yeah, and somehow conversation got into that way. She asked why is, oh yeah, he mentioned that he had he changed, he wanted not to do this anymore, and that's why his mother, the queen, the reincarnation of Jupiter, was killed, because she had a change of heart as well. But that, obviously that's a deception. And yeah, so he proposed Jupiter to marry her to help run a business, a planet, whatever, that she wouldn't be in danger or whatever. He will protect her. Yeah, his plan is just basically kill her afterwards. yeah, so the whole explanation took in the scene that, you know, loads of people laying around there. Okay, and then these two dudes talk. So the Titus tells to the wolf, lies is a necessity. They are the they are the source of meaning. There are belief and hope. Sometimes lies is the only reason I get out of the bed. So again, you know, these psychopaths, that's how they think. So that's the mantra before they go to sleep, I guess. So yeah, he basically wants to get rid of this guy, so he sends him out into space. But luckily he got a suit with some oxygen and he survives. And then you know, he came in and proposed to her. Oh no, they just had a conversation, sorry. And Jupiter says to Titus, oh, I don't think I can do this, talking about wedding. Titus, I told you, do not think this about like a wedding. It's just a contract in order to protect people, innocent people. Okay, so they're saying again, literally, that wedding is not just like a contract, but it's literally a contract because you have to file a paperwork to get a license to get married to someone else. So I rest my case over here. And then again she was a bit hesitant just before the wedding ceremony, and then he says to her, these are matters of the state, not matters of the heart. So, you know, basically it doesn't matter what you feel, it's not about you, it's just again business. Okay, and then the rings were like a holographic tattoo or something again, where first done on him, and he was looking at it so proud. And to me, this dread outfit in red, again, this royalty, like he looks like to me this is like Lord of the Rings, you know, again, because these sort of symbols or whatever looked like they were on actual Lord of the Rings. And I mean, from this distance you can't tell. I mean, you could tell, but I mean, I'm saying that there is some connection why they're putting these shiny symbolical rings around your finger. Again, there's plenty of this around here. Then basically what happens, this dude, the evil dude, captures and kidnaps the Jupiter's family from the Earth, and basically tries to blackmail to sign the rights of the Earth to him. So again, the significance of the signature is there. And again, you know, it's just another contract you sign off, you know, Earth here, Earth there, you know, just nothing usual, it's not a business day. Aha. So, and there's a chat, and the Baalem talks to Jupiter. My mother taught me what was necessary to rule in this universe. And Jupiter, by killing people? Baalem shouts, I create life and I destroy it. Life is an act of consumption. To live is to consume. Human beings on your planet are very resourceful, waiting to be converted into capital, and this entire enterprise is just a small part of a vast and beautiful machine defined by evolution, designed for a single purpose, to create profit. I'm just actually quoting what's said in the movies, and I don't think there's anything more to say. I don't want to repeat myself too much. So Jupiter says to him, is that what your mother taught you? I can't see why you hate her. And he responds, I love my mother. And she says, and yet you tried to kill her. My mother made me understand that every human society is a pyramid, and some lives will always matter more than others. Let's not pretend it's not true. Yeah, again. And again he carries on. This is notice of application. If you confess your genetic incapacity to rule, again, the wording, I'll review this again. This is notice of application. You will confess your genetic incapacity to rule and you will return to Earth. Okay? So it's not that basically your consciousness that you're saying should define you making decisions, but actually your genes, your codes or whatever. Maybe that's why they try more and more. They're trying roboticize us, you know. Anyway, where we are. And she responds, "Let my family go, and I will do whatever you want." And he says, "You are in no position to negotiate." Okay, and Jupiter refuses, basically, and she's ready to sacrifice her and her family's life for the sake of the Earth. And bam! Pretty much before he starts to do something, the wolf guy intercepts and then starts beef path. Something gone off in the building, or the whole building, the planet, whatever, starts collapsing. A bit more space. Here you are. So I wonder, there was a ship or something behind them to capture them, because anyway. So 65. Oh, we're nearly done. So basically, yeah, this guy had wings, but they were confiscated when he was expelled from the military. But now he has his right to have them back. Okay, so he's basically was the fallen angel which got his wings back. And you know, is that a reference that they're coming back to shape for the future of the Earth? I mean, this is nearly the ending scene. This was somewhere in the middle of the movie, but what I liked it because it showed, in a way, for me, the hierarchy. Yeah. So these sort of little aliens, you know, in a way they're just slaves, sort of below us. Then there are us humans, because let's just say he's human. Then there's another guy on the far right, which is slightly taller than him, which is maybe some other alien race, which, you know, forges the destiny of human race. And maybe reptilians are in the charge. Obviously, in the movie, there was all the way around that this guy was in charge. But I don't know, just a nice picture I captured, you know. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it with the Jupiter Ascending. So I hope you enjoyed. I have few more movies prepared like this one. How long was I here? I don't even know, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested in the way I do them, and if you have a good suggestion what I can do, like with this one, I have Prometheus ready, Justice League, and nearly done with a Man of Steel. So I think I'll make one one video next week as well. But I'll see how they go. So anyway, thank you for everyone someone, because there was only one pretty much all the time who stayed with me. And I see you soon. Have a good day, guys.